Good morning. Welcome to our meeting. We're calling it to order. This is a special meeting with an executive session. We will bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Thought we were ready, but something we're need. We'll now take the roll call. Mr. Fain. Here. Ms. Gallagher. Here. Mr. Greenbaum. Here. Mr. Mayor. Here. Dr. Rude. Here. Sally, Mrs. Tong. Here. Mrs. Winters. Here. Okay, and Ms. Stern, obviously here. And we have Ms. Cohen. And public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the board secretary on December 22nd, 2023 in the following manner. Posted on the school bulletin board at the administration building, transmitted to the Courier Post, Philadelphia Inquirer, and the clerk of Cherry Hill Township. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. And now it is time for our public comment. Public comment is the opportunity for members of the community to comment on matters relevant to the operations of Cherry Hill Public School District or within the authority of the Cherry Hill Board of Education. The board welcomes diverse opinions and relevant matters. Under established federal law governing reasonable restrictions on speech in public forums, statements which demean individual community members or groups or which are irrelevant to the operations of the school district or are repetitive will not be permitted. Community members who would like to present information not relevant to the school district are always welcome to communicate directly to the superintendent, board president, and all board members via email or other alternative means. If you would like to speak now, please approach the podium. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and your municipality. We will alternate between those who are in the room and those who are online. If you are online and you are a student and you would like to speak, please put an S after your name and we will begin in the room. If anyone would like to speak, please approach the podium now.
Good morning, Rick Short, Cherry Hill. Since we don't know who is the superintendent being picked, I would suggest there's 3 that I would not choose in America. Number 1 would be our Newark superintendent. The reason why we wouldn't choose our Newark superintendent is because this man operates a $1 billion operation. He's just concerned about the highest achieving students and doesn't care about the lowest achieving students. There's about 400 students that come out successful from the Newark School District, and the rest are failing. I wouldn't choose a Philadelphia superintendent. The reason why I wouldn't choose a Philadelphia superintendent because he didn't rank as an excellent superintendent. So why would you bring in a guy from North Carolina ranked at like 200 and something and expect him to run the entire school district of Philadelphia? And the next person I wouldn't pick in America is our intern superintendent, Dr. Morton. And I'm going to quote from Dr. Laurie Pendergrass, and I am a fan club. I'm sorry if I said your last name wrong. I'm a fan club member, Ms. Pendergrass, Dr. Pendergrass. We're in a culture war, ladies and gentlemen. Education is not based around ideologies. Education shouldn't be based around ideologies. One of the biggest ideologies that just doesn't work is DEI. And I challenge anyone in America to come up to any public mic in America and tell me 10 successful school districts in America that have used DEI for 12 years. You will not find one person that can stand up in America and tell you that there is a successful school that's used DEI for 12 years. So why do we do it? Why do we do it? Because it's an ideology. It's a belief that we're all going to be saved. Moving on to other beliefs, we have climate change. In July, and this is not, I am not criticizing Dr. Rude. I like Dr. Rude's opinions. Dr. Rude stood and spoke about the climate change program. The district spent 7 months and ended up with 6 words in a mission statement. 6 words in 7 months, when everything for climate change could be taken from the New York City climate change school report. But you choose not to use it. Nope, you have to reinvent the wheel, have 15 different subcommittees, waste hours and hours of work. That is not intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll be back with more reasons not to pick Dr. Morton, who is—
Time is up, Mr. Short. And the next person is online with a hand up is the phone number that ends in 788. Please state your full name and your municipality.
My name is Jeffrey Podowitz, and I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. For the open school board seat, I stated at a school board meeting I would have preferred someone who had already served on the school board or the very, very next highest vote getter in the election. My emphasis was that on that former school board member, because they were experienced and the school board will be choosing a new superintendent, irregardless, and that's the key, irregardless of that I would agree with this person's policy, I truly believe that this would have been a wiser choice for the open seat. However, and since we learned that there were individuals who met those qualifications and they weren't chosen, and they didn't even make your final 4, I have concerns of who you will choose for our superintendent. I really believe that that experienced person, again, whether I agree with their policies or not, should have been chosen, but they were not, and they were apparently available. Hopefully, when you choose this new superintendent, it won't be anyone from North Jersey. No one from North Jersey, someone available. And would I want someone from Philadelphia? The answer would be, or Philadelphia superintendent, not that you're choosing that person. The answer would be no. But again, I wouldn't want anyone from North Jersey. I actually would rather see Dr. Morton, not that I agree with his policies, because I don't, but we at least know who he is rather than that person for North Jersey. Not that I agree with his policies, and let me emphasize it, but we know who he is. And there's not going to be any surprises. We know who he is, whether we agree with his policies or not. I don't know who you're going to choose, but again, I think you had better choices for the 4 finalists for the school board, and I'm wondering for the school board, and again, who I would have chosen, one of those other people. And for superintendent, I hope you make the right choice, whatever that is. And I'd rather have someone that I know than someone who. That's the way I feel. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and take care.
Okay, we go back to the room. If you'd like to speak, please approach the podium. And please state your full name and municipality.
Hello again, Joseph Jarislaw, Cherry Hill. I actually like to follow up on where I was talking last week, and I mentioned that my father, superintendent of schools, 28 years, a lot of experience and a lot that I learned from him from it. But the last 2 speakers actually said things that rang true to me in this sense. First of all, being a little humorous, for your last speaker, I just want to say that I'm from North Jersey. So therefore, you are perfectly okay to pick someone from North Jersey if you feel that they would do well by the district. Again, I say that with humor. I'm not trying to antagonize the last speaker. Rick actually said something that in the opening part of his statement that rang true to me in this sense. He talked about, I believe it was the Newark superintendent, and how he only focused on the top 10% of his district. And I think I mentioned this last week, but I want to elaborate a little more this time. My father was adamant as a superintendent that a district that only focuses on the top students, one that thinks it is successful, is not successful. And my strong encouragement to you, I don't think I elaborated this well last time, to all of you, the person, whomever you pick, how does that person feel about students who want to do vocational skills? How does that person feel about, frankly, the bottom 10% just as much as the top 10%? How does that person feel about the middle? Because my father's belief was you had to build from the bottom up, and a successful district is one where it's impossible, quote unquote, for all students to succeed, but for as many of them to succeed as will allow, in the sense that if a student isn't good grade-wise, but good skill-wise, or vice versa, but then turns into a successful and productive citizen, that is success. That is not failure. To look at something simply and say, well, your grades are this, therefore, is wrong. And my father, again, this is a man who had a PhD from Columbia, a straight A student his entire life, felt very strongly about that. So I'm just asking all of you, as I stand here honoring my father's legacy, and I admit this is cathartic and meaningful to me, to make sure that you are asking whomever you're going to hire, and that's why we have elected board representatives, to trust you to hire the right person, to really drill down on how they feel about those things. Again, you're always going to focus on the top. Focus also on the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaroslaw. My father also has a PhD from Columbia, and he always instilled in me, leave the world a better place than you found it. So there you go. Lessons from our families, right? Okay. I don't see any more hands online. If there's anybody else in the room who'd like to speak, please approach the podium. Nobody at the podium, and no more hands online, and I will close public comment. And now I will make a motion to convene our executive session. Do I have a second? Mrs. Sherfain, all in favor? Aye. And motion carries. We are adjourned into moving into our executive session.